I need someone to cue up the State of the Union music. I should have brought the Roadcaster down.
That's fine.
All right, anyway, so, yes.
Do we actually have a Canadian State of the Union music?
Well, something with maple leaves.
Yeah.
State of the monarchy.
That's how you should
This speech approved by the Queen.
From her grave?
Right. This is how I'm finding out who Queen Elizabeth's death.
Wait, what do you mean?
Wait, what? No! All right, so anyways, hi everyone. Welcome to 99. We've got 99 cards because Commander's number one. I am one of your hosts, Daniel.
I'm Slothy. I'm Brian. You usually introduce us. That was weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I usually do say I'm here with my friends, Brian and Slothy. So, yes, I'm here with my friends, Brian and Slothy, of course. How are both you guys doing?
Great.
Oh, not too bad.
Yeah. Merry late Christmas to everyone and Happy New Year, all that stuff. Hopefully everyone got time off, happy holidays, whatever you're celebrating. As long as it was a good time, then I'm happy. I hope people didn't have to work because work's never fun. So we are doing, this will be the last episode of the year. Technically, it'll come out on the New Year. Sunday's the New Year, so yeah. But we wanted to do the basically the State of the Union. It's kind of an annual address, and we just wanted to talk about where we see Commander for the year and where we see it going and stuff. There's a lot happened this year. It was so much Commander, and there are so many products, and I've got some pretty strong feelings about the majority of these products. But don't
you have strong feelings?
I always have strong feelings. But no, it's, we wanted to just talk a little bit about that. So first and foremost, I did want to say, I'll start it off on the most positive note that I can. And that is that I do think that the game itself is and always will be in a good place, right? No matter what they print or don't print. If Wizards shuts down tomorrow, there's enough cards that we can play this game endlessly. This game can go on for hundreds of years. It's never going to end. There's so many combinations of things. Like we spent, before we even were able to sit down at this table, we had to, I think, clear off 50 decks off this table. So there's definitely...
Yeah, this is how we got paid to do the podcast. We had a clean dance house.
Yeah, so I do think it's never been a better time to get into Commander and stuff. There's so many cheap options. The precons that they keep making are pretty good. Like, a lot of them are pretty good. There's just a lot of them, right? So it can really be overwhelming to a new player, but that's kind of always been the thing. Magic's like an incredibly complex game, and right?
It's more complex than chess when you think about it. There's so many different interactions and keywords, and
I think I know there's well over 20,000 legal cards, and there's so many combinations you can do. There's commonly played things, and you can figure things out as you go, but they're always making more and more. Yeah, Brad's taking away my fidget toy. There's just so many interactions, right, that it's like impossible to run out of things to play or ways. And I do really like about Magic, especially even with like the most competitive formats, there is nothing that just beats everything. There is no one solution to beat three other players. There's like there's so many things. So I do think it's a good thing to get into, and I wanted to even start with that solution part in mind by talking about the Elesh Norn thing. I put up on the Instagram as well about the new Elesh Norn. A lot of people have lots of people have strong opinions, and that kind of does lead into the conversation of where this, where Magic is as a format, because we have people like the Rules Committee, and I, for a long time, have not been a big fan of the Rules Committee. I don't think that they really represent like the average player. I think that they ban based on their own things. I can't stand Cyclonic Rift. But Cyclonic Rift is in games, and it is what it is, right? You can't just you can't ban everything out. You can attack people who play Cyclonic Rift, and I will mercilessly every time.
Don't flash a Cyclonic Rift to Daniel.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, I find, generally speaking, that playgroups police themselves. At the end of the day, like, if you aren't being fun to play with, no one's going to play with you. So the new Elesh Norn came out, and it's something that I think it's got great stats already. Like, compared to the old Elesh Norn, this is going to be my quick rant on it. Old Elesh Norn is a 4/7 at 7 mana that has Vigilance and then gives an Anthem of -2/-2 to everything.
And +2/+2.
And +2/+2 to yours. So if we look at the new Elesh Norn, which is 5 cost, it also is a 4/7 for Vigilance. So we can look at that, the body and the stats of 4/7 for Vigilance. even if like if you split old Elesh Norn up, right? Give it any number of split. Like if we say that it's going to be a 4 mana, 4/7 with vigilance, and that's it, that would be a great card. And then if there was a 3 mana, your creatures get +2/+2, your opponent creatures get -2/-2. Everyone's going to run that card, right? All of the Praetors have always been strong. There's always been pros and cons to each of them, but there's a reason that they're not like the most prevalent cards in the format, right? Like they police themselves.
Well, it's just like the Eldrazi's.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like and Annihilator sucks to get hit by.
I hate Annihilator.
But you don't see it every game, right? And I'm probably the worst offender for landfall. I put it in every deck I can. Like it's landfall and then ETB. Those are like some of my favorite things. Mm-hmm. And you need a response to them. I constantly like we were playing a game with one of our play groups. They're like, oh yeah, we can get to a little bit of a higher power. And I was like, okay, we'll play Windgrace. And I ended up like scape shifting 10 lands away, getting my lands, sacking everything to Zurn Orb, and then like bringing them all back to the battlefield with like a land Harmonicon, like Ancient Green Warden out. Regardless, I had like something like, I think 80 or 90 Valakut triggers. I had Obnixilis, the black landfall one out. I killed the table with it. Like it was just I had just gotten so far ahead of everyone with this landfall stuff and with this like when ETBs you get zombie tokens. There needs to be a response to that, right? Like Field of the Dead is a really strong card for a reason. So there's going to be cards that like shut decks down. And that's, like I said, that's where I wanted to get with this Elesh Norn talk was, I don't think the rules committee is like, they're not representing the player base, because if you ask my play group, a lot of people would probably be pretty happy to have something somewhere, like, and for everyone being like, oh, well, it's going to be a monocolored like combo piece in the command. It's mono white. You got to pick one, right? Is mono white weak and sucks and need all the help, or like does mono white get something good every now and then, right? Like pick one. Pick. It can't be both. It can't just be like it sucks and it needs help, and then they're like, here's some help, and they're like,
white's
no,
too strong and we gotta murder it.
No, I will not. Yeah, right.
It has to be the meme.
Yeah,
it has to be the weak one.
Yeah, so like it's I don't think it's like a problematic card, but it is a pushed card for sure. Like it's gonna be a card like I'm gonna pick a lot of them up and stuff, but. I was going to say, like, if you're worried about like people being like, oh, well, it's going to creep stacks into games. The people playing stacks are already doing it, right? No one's going to see an Elesh Norn and be like, oh, well, this is going to be baby's first stacks deck. No, they're going to put it into existing strategies. I think Elesh Norn's going to spend most of the time like in the 99 of decks.
Yep.
As an extra card.
I don't see it being a commander really.
You could maybe make like a pretty cool like prison deck, right? Yeah. Where it was like you're doing. Like
prison.
No, like I mean like the it enters, it's celestial something, it's got a goat on it. Grasp of Fate, it's not celestial at all. Like a Grasp of Fate where it enters and you choose a permanent for each other player, so you get like a double up of an exile. Things like that, like Oblivion Ring. Like you could make like a cool-ish version of that deck. But again, like it's still gonna be a mono white prison. You know what I mean? Like it's still not gonna beat like if you're sitting there. If you're playing like a mono white deck and you're against someone who's just wheeling everything away, it's not good, right? No. If you're against like someone who's like turbo ramping out angels and you're like trying to be like, oh, I'm going to Oblivion Ring after I get my 5 mana, it is what it is, right? Like even stacking a deck like that with like Mana Crypts, Mana Volts, like it's still mono white at the end of the day. Like where's that? If I had everything, I could play my whole hand out. It's got the weakest card draw. It's got the weakest ramp. I don't think that it's
Smother Intent for the win.
But that's what I mean, and that was their justification. They're like, we don't want cards that are just so good that they'd be auto include. But I don't see that as an auto include, especially compared to things in the format already, like a Rhystic Study, like a Smothering Ties, like a Teferi's. Like there's like a Cyclonic Rift. Again, if you're playing blue, there is nearly no reason to not run Cyclonic Rift, except for it's costed high, like it's like a $40 card or something, or whatever.
$40.
But it's not even that it's 7, right? It's a 2 mana instant removal speed that can't target anything of yours, so you can't get a deflecting swatted back at you. And
that's true.
Yeah, and it has like the higher, so it's good early game to deal with like an early threat. It's good late game. It's just like short of like my weird grandstand where I'm like, I hate this card and I hate everyone who plays this card. Like, there is really no reason to not run that card, right? Like, it's just a good card. And the format is obviously going to have some of those things. There's things that are just going to be upgrades. I've got a Jaheira deck sitting in front of us. Jaheira makes tokens tap for green. Anyone who's playing a token-based deck is probably going to start running a Jaheira because it's just such a cheap include for a big ramp.
Mhm.
So with that rant, like what I'm saying and stuff is, I don't think that like the salt that you see on places like Reddit, like Twitter, I don't really think that's real. I think that maybe if you're stuck playing only in like online spaces and with random pods, then maybe it can get a little frustrating. But I think that
Especially if you're playing if you're not playing paper in a play group and you're playing online with cockatrice or stuff like that, people are min-maxing like the I don't want to curse. They're min-maxing the poop out of those deck lists, right? It's not that, hey, I have this stuff to build out of and that's what I'm putting into my deck. It's I can throw whatever I want in there. Do I want to play that greasy?
yeah. Well, it's you've got to, like I said earlier in this, you have to still be fun to play with. If you don't have people to play with, it doesn't matter how great your deck is. You can have stacks of Power 9 cards, but if they just sit there because you have no one to play with, then it doesn't matter how great your deck building skills are, right? Like there's many games where I don't do the optimal thing. I do what's more fun for the table, right? And it's like sometimes I'm playing with like random play groups and stuff, and I have a sweeper. I can win the game by this. I've got like a heroic intervention board wipe kind of combo, right?
Yeah.
But that's not always going to be fun, right? Like sometimes I can just read the room and I can see that someone's got a new deck and it's really like it's going off. They're in a great board state, and you just let them have fun, right? It doesn't mean like pull your punches, but it just means like play for fun. Like you don't always have to do the optimal thing in every game sense to have a good time. Like I don't know, maybe my view on Magic is different. I view Magic as a time to hang out with my buddies.
Yep.
Right? Like it's at the end of the day, like I want to hang out with my friends. That's the whole reason I do a podcast is because I like to talk about Magic. I just enjoy the game. And trying to win every game is not the way that my friends want to hang out with me. No one wants to come to the How Good is Daniel show.
Good at playing with Daniel.
Yeah.
He went 12-0.
Yeah, he went 12-0 and stuff, right? Because all doing stuff like that does is it like makes an arms race. And
Same time next week? Nah, I'm good, guys. I'm not going to play the
It's
shop.
like, there's a time and a place for it all. Like there are play groups where it is, you want to do the optimal thing, win as fast as possible.
yeah,
But then, like you were saying, let the new players have a little bit of fun sometimes.
Well-
You don't have to go and bring out your
bring up the big
Thrasios
guns. Yeah,
File Smasher to a game where everyone else is playing precons.
yep.
Again, I think that comes back to one of like the really big conversations that was going on this year again was the Rule Zero conversation.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have Rule Zero kind of backwards.
Yeah, so that's another thing I wanted to talk about is like we're going to do like an in-depth Rule Zero. The current Rule Zero conversations that I see going on online and being like promoted by entities as large as the as the rules committee itself, they're garbage. They're not a good way to like have a conversation. I'll delve deep into this in it. Like no one should be giving everyone like here's like a printed deck list. Like this is not a competitive one-on-one format. Don't sit there and tell me like, oh yeah, like my deck is gonna. I want to see the surprise of what you've built. Be honest with like your stuff. Like, can I combo off? Am I going to infinite combo? Sure. Like you can say that. Like don't pub stomp your table, but you don't have to like list like, okay, well I've got 8 mana rocks, 3 tutors and stuff like this. Here's my actual win con is this. Like in Belladross, for instance, I like to change people's life totals with Soul Conduit. I'm not going to explain that to everyone because then everyone just sees me getting my life to 0 and it's not funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just Soul Conduit comes out of nowhere and wins because it's like an interesting thing that you don't see as a thing. But if I just say like, hey guys, I'm going to use this immensely powerful engine from the command zone to ping myself 10 life every time, and then I'm going to try switch your life total to 0 so that you die, everyone will be like, I'm just going to attack Daniel when he's close to 0, and then he'll just be dead, I guess.
And did I tell you what they were doing at the Magic tournament?
No.
So
At the face-to-face?
yeah. So the face-to-face event, I don't know what Pioneer or whichever format, but you handed in your deck list to them.
In a one-on-one setting, like for actual.
But then you also then have to give your deck list to your opponent.
Mm-hmm. That's always in like in like
I-
competitive like one-on-one stuff.
I don't mind having like that the organizer see it because they confirm that the cards are good and everything. But I don't think that I should be giving my opponent my deck list.
Well, so in like a rules enforcement, like an REL tournament, the reason is so that you know that they're not cheating at some point or another, right? Like they're not switching in specifically to try beat.
But
what
that's
you have.
not the player's job.
No, but that's what I mean, right? Like you have to say like, this is my sideboard, this is it. You have to present it like that. That's the competitive format way of like, you have shown up. Like it would be like if I'm a football team, right? I can't just like introduce new players throughout the game where I'm just like, this is my running back, my new running back. Like this is my player roster. Everyone sees my player roster. So it's like that. But
then my since we're gonna go to that analogy, I would dive in down though that the cards though, or my strategy inside the cards would be like, here's my playbook.
But-
These are every single plays I'm going to try to run.
but it's not your playbook, right? And most of the for those events, like everyone's playing similar deck lists anyways. But that does come back to like what I was saying, and that has no place in Commander. That there's no reason to like everyone chooses commanders and stuff. I like the idea of like a quick with again just a summary of a rule zero. I like choosing my commanders after a conversation of like what kind of a game are we looking to play, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of times I play so many group hug decks because I care more about the fun of the table than like trying to stop. And if people say like, oh, we want to play something a little high power, I'm like, okay, like how high are we thinking? Yeah, like do you want like a creature? Do you want me to like combo off?
Are you doing infinite combos in your deck? Like
Yeah.
what level are we at here?
Yeah, have like those conversations. But like the whole like, okay, well like here's your win con and I have 6 tutors. Like if I know that like Brian is going to be like, if Brian presents a deck list and I'm like, okay, well Brian runs a ton of save himself cards like a Teferi's Protection, Heroic Intervention stuff. I'm going to be like, okay, well
No,
I need to make sure that Brian is, I need to, it just changes the whole way that you play in the threat assessment when you know like every part of the deck. If Locust God deck, I just remade a Locust God deck, great deck, super fun to play. Locust God kind of inherently just pops off itself. But if you know that I'm doing something like I have a mana echoes and a skull clamp, then you can just like save removal for these pieces that I tell you. Like if I'm like, oh, this is my like, it's a casual food chain deck. You can be like, I'll just save enchantment removal for food chain then, I guess. Like,
Yep.
right. It just, I don't agree with that. And again, I don't think that happens in real settings. And you don't see that at game stores where people are like handing over deck lists. Like these are more of an online thing, right? And that's it's another part of like, of Magic's just overall where it is right now is during the pandemic, we all got really, really comfortable playing online.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone couldn't go out. Game stores were closed. Spell Table was like a boon for both mental health for people and for like a place to go and actually interact and stuff. Discords were full, like Instagram communities, like Twitter, all that stuff. Everyone got really close, and that was really awesome. And we play with lots of different people. There's huge play groups like Play EDH with thousands of people to play online.
Yep.
Magic's in a great spot right now where any day of the week, pretty much, if you want to play, you can get online and play Magic. Mm-hmm. And I think, though, that those people are, when you're in such a big group, you don't have the actual interactions of sitting across from your friend and watching them get angry as you stacks them out of a game.
This kind of reminds me of what I was saying at work. At work, we all are work from home. I don't get to interact with people in an in-person setting.
Mm-hmm.
They are just a disembodied voice.
Yeah, they're just a number now, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I supposed to care about what a number means to me or how they feel?
Yeah, as opposed to when you were in the office, you're like, these are my buddies that I see every day.
Yeah, like I knew when we were in the office, I knew everyone's name. I could walk around and say hi to everyone, and like that's what I would like about the in-game person or in-game store. Like, I don't want to say just be like a dick in person. So like I'm gonna try to play a game to ensure that everyone's having fun, that I'm having fun, and so on. But online, I can see it.
It can get a little impersonal.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So like it's again, like we're pretty much everywhere's not in the middle of a global pandemic now, right? So now we're all back in stores. We're back like at like home groups, like with our friends.
People brought out all these high-powered decks to the...
And that brings us to the next point, which is the arms race that is globally happening in Magic right now. No one seems to understand at all what, like, just like a casual, like everything Brian was saying earlier is like min-max. Like everything is like, how can I combo this? How can I combo that? Wizards is printing every piece they can to speed it up.
Before we jump into that, though, just one last thing on like the Rule Zero. Like yesterday, I went out to Ogre's Den and I was playing there. I was sitting down with Dean, knowing Dean plays stacks.
He's an animal.
Yeah, so knowing Dean's playstyle, I was able to kind of understand that the other two people that I was going to be playing with
Maybe bring some high power.
we're going to be playing some high-powered stuff. And I was watching some of their cards they were playing, like Mox Opal and like some like Mana Crypts, like higher-powered or higher-priced stuff.
Yeah.
So I knew that, like, well, actually, I ended up playing my my new Urza deck, and hey, actually, it did things.
People to take your commander.
Yeah, they didn't blow up or take my commander or anything.
Yeah.
Like like I was actually able to do stuff against higher level decks.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, like okay, this is great. But then like I actually played my Tulane with the changes that I made to it, like so the saltier stuff, like the magistrate. So hey, you guys can't play your commanders. So Nolan Ball is coming back on the field, and like yeah, so like. I knew the area of the deck that I was able to play with, seeing cards and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I never really had to have that Rule Zero conversation. But that's because, again, like
you know the play group, yeah.
I want to, well, and I also want to have like I played my Xyrus deck. I didn't play it in a method that I knew I was going to win.
Yeah.
I played it so like they drew, like I made the girl draw like 12 cards.
Yeah.
And so she was like, oh, well, there's all my combo pieces.
And you're like,
and I was like, oh, hey, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, group hug is nice sometimes.
Yeah, so like I had a lot of fun with that, and like I didn't really feel like I had to worry or anything like that. But like, just like some of the in-person games that we've played here, I feel that some people need to have
some Rule Zero stuff has been
missed.
Everyone's trying to. Oh, well, we saw this stacks interaction. I'm like, well, don't mimic every stacks interaction unless you want to like mimic my response to that stacks interaction
every time.
Where I play something like my Selvala Angels deck, where I like.
You still lost, though.
Huh?
You still lost that game?
No.
I remember that you lost.
No, you're talking. Brian's talking when we were playing. I was playing like my that was my Selvala like Elves deck.
Okay.
My Selvala Angels deck is like very often like Primal Surgic on like turn 3 or turn 4 in an Angels deck. That's rough. Selvala's a great card. But no, yeah, like
Explorer Return.
Yeah, Explorer Return. Both of them, but they have printed a lot of really, really powerful stuff this year. There's been. I think one of the tweets I saw was like 400 plus commanders for the year.
Something like that.
So there's...
And Dan's only at 400 decks.
Yeah, and I'm only at 400 decks. What am I doing? There's no Soul Rings at all anywhere in this city. But no, we've got so many other options, right? The Jetmir, for instance, like that's... I made my lovely producer and fiance, of course.
Congratulations this year.
Yeah, thank you. Oh yeah, it was a great year, by the way. I did lots. It was great. We'll talk about that in the end. We'll talk about a little personal life stuff. But I made her Jetmir to start playing. She likes cats. Jetmir's cat.
Obviously.
It seems like it was a match made in heaven.
Well, the first commander deck, wasn't it the Cat Dragons that were the precon from
yeah. The first one she got
a cycling one, the Cat Dragons.
Someone suggested to her to get the Gavi deck, and I'm like,
there was 4 precons, and they were like, we have vampire, we have this.
Voice in the background.
And I am the unembodied voice.
The ghost of Kaelin.
But they were just like, this one has Dino Cats. And I was like, I want that one. I didn't know what it did. I just wanted the cats.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
I love them.
So she was trying to learn how to play like with the cycling deck. Horrible deck to try to learn to play. So many like when you cycle this counter activated ability, you've got Force of Negation in it, or is that what it is? Yeah.
That's the good one.
Yeah. But I made a Jetmir deck. That was the point of this. And it's it's like a pretty all right deck. It's not crazy high budget. It's got like Birds of Paradise, Little Elves, and stuff like that. And that deck regularly slaps the table for 100 damage, like on the swing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like Jetmir is like a monster from the command zone. Like, just, it, like, Jetmir counts itself, Jetmir gives its bonus to itself, and even if Jetmir didn't do both of those things, it would still be a really, really good commander. But, like, just for playing creatures, you get Vigilance, Trample, and Double Strike from the command zone, and it's also on Jetmir. Being slapped for, like, 12 damage from a Birds of Paradise is infuriating. It's, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, yeah, so I swing. And that's what I mean. So there's been just a ton of, like just Jetmir alone.
I love attacking people with ornithopters and birds.
Yeah.
I swing for 0.
Yeah.
Or do I?
Or do I? I cast Berserk. Like, yeah, there's just been, like, so many, like, strong... the Urza that I've made 4 versions of so far, because, like, that's just a great card, which I still can't understand why it's a $2 card.
I was making Soul Ring Soldiers. It was fantastic.
Yeah, like, they just did a lot. Like, Baldur's Gate was this year, too, right? What was that?
Baldur's Gate was...
Do you know what? Like for me, I was kind of off on my hiatus still for quite like a majority of this year. So like I didn't really look at a lot of the stuff for this year, but like I know that like everyone was going off about the Warhammer stuff that was like right around kind of when I was making my comeback, but I wasn't dropping like $400 for 4 decks.
That's fair.
And like. Every time we go through and like we're going over like deck lists, and I'm like, when did this card come out? And you guys were like, this year. I was like, how did I not see this card? Like, there's just so much that I still haven't seen yet, and like people are like, I'm playing this commander. I was like, who?
Trying to keep up with spoilers is like impossible right now. That's like another part I want to talk about on it. It's just like there's no time to digest any sets. Like, I buy so much product, and I haven't bought any sealed product in ages because there's no time to digest everything, right? Like, it's like a set releases, and then they're like, spoilers of the new Phyrexia set, and I'm like, it is release day of this. It's Brothers War like release day, and they're just like, all right, here it is. Here's your new ones.
Should I just start sending wizards my paychecks?
Right? It's this year, like, so first off, this year had like so many products. Like, so I have Jumpstart with everything, Commander decks with everything. The Commander decks with those Commander decks, like, then a Commander Legends set that had Commander decks with it. And then, like, I think there was, like, something, like, we counted. I think it was, like, 25 or 30 Commander decks this year. Like, it was, like, just buying that. Most players don't have 30 decks. Even just buying all of the pre-cons this year would exceed the average player's, like, deck collection. And sleeves are, what, like, $15? It'd be, like, $300 or $400 in sleeves alone.
We were discussing this last night, Dan.
Yeah.
But 400 decks,
I'm at
15.
I'm at 409. I've got almost $6,000 of sleeves, 6,000 Monopoly dollars in sleeves alone. Brian's always asking why I don't double sleeve. You tell me, Brian. You tell me. No, but that is another thing. If you're someone similar to me who always likes to build stuff and all, how do you keep up with like this like schedule and stuff? How do you edit old decks?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it's right now. If you were to go through my collection, you'd be able to see the start of when Wizards started ramping things up. Because before I could be like, oh, like this would be a great card in deck, blah blah blah, and I'd switch it out. And all my old decks right now are just essentially frozen in time. There's no time to go back and like edit stuff. There's no time to digest sets. Like New Capenna, I didn't even really overly like New Capenna and stuff. I wanted a little more from the Commander set of the year, even though Baldur's Gate turned out to be the Commander set of the year.
So good.
Baldur's Gate was so good. But
apparently I missed out on a good set.
Baldur's Gate was really good. But like I was saying and stuff, there was no time to digest that set at all. And like, it had great options like in the command zone. Like, Beamtown Bullies is a really, really cool and unique deck style. Like, you'd love Beamtown Bullies. I don't think you've ever seen it. It's Beamtown Bullies is like a deck that's like about bringing things back from your graveyard into play under opponent's control for the turn. Yeah. So it's really fun. You can like give people like, I run things like a Runescar Demon, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be like, Brian, I'll reanimate this Runescar Demon. When Runescar Demon enters, you get a ghost, tutor a card. It's like really cool. But I also run things like Leveler, and when Leveler enters, it exiles your library, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's just like such a, like, that's a fun, unique way to play, right? Like, there's so many cool things you can do with that. I loved Tivit from the command, like that commander set, the Esper one. Tivit was phenomenal. Like the Democracy Sphinx, where you get to vote.
Democracy Sphinx.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's one of the episodes coming out is the Democracy Sphinx, and you get to see me go silly with it. And it's like every time it enters, like it was a great Will of the Counselor Commander. That was really fun, but there was no time to digest that because immediately after it came out Commander Legends. Like it was the Streets of New Capenna release date was April 29th. It says here in front of me, and then Baldur's Gate was June 10th.
Yeah, it's hard to get.
So you had like a month in between.
Man, these artists must be like have fires lit under their booties.
Right? So
It's really hard to get excited when they're releasing that much stuff.
yeah, well, when it's like a new set alert. And then the other thing is like, it doesn't feel good to dump all your money into like making this cool new deck. And then a set later, they're like, here's a new commander that's just better for that set you were just like excited for. Like it's been exhausting. Some of the things that I've thought were the most entertaining like of the year was, I like the uncommon commanders that they made. They made a ton of like really cool budget things. Baldur's Gate was great for that, like with the backgrounds, another like huge set.
Backgrounds are interesting.
Yeah,
like
part of me wishes that they had given it partner, but I understand why they didn't give it partner. Like it would have expanded things out too aggressively, I think. Like
I think if they keep it kind of self-contained and go back to like D&D style and then just keep adding on more backgrounds.
yeah, so you can do that. That's fun. And more things to like choose the backgrounds with, like more creatures and enchantments.
Yeah.
Because the partner mechanic is out of control, right? Like
Absolutely.
Oh, and talking about banning and not banning cards, like how did Tasha's Hideous Laughter not get like? I feel like that card's too.
that card slid under the radar because everyone bought it out immediately, and it was
For exile the top 10 cards or
no exile till you get a total CMC of 20
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Like that card, someone played it on me and I was like, what?
at 3 CMC as well, and it's that one can be rough. But yeah, like I said, there's been a lot of like really cool stuff. I know this is very tangenty in general as an episode, but this is what you guys get. It's the end of the year, and this is the State of the Union.
And this is what I wanted. Episode.
Just
discussion topics.
Just be happy Brian and I aren't drunk for a New Year's episode.
Yeah. I'll be arguing the points for that we're arguing against.
It's never too late. It's 11 a.m. It's never too late to start drinking. But no, like
if I didn't need a drive, sure.
Brian's getting an Uber. Yeah, there's it's been a good year like overall for that stuff. But just like the release schedule, we got technically this year we got the Innistrad double feature, so the extra sets if you like the horror themes, which are cool. I like the reskin stuff.
Yeah.
Then we got Commander Collection Black, which is that's a few cards. We got Neon Dynasty, Streets of New Capenna. Like Neon Dynasty in February.
I haven't even looked at Neon whatever.
Neon Dynasty, there's some cool stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Streets of New Capenna. We got Commander Legends Baldur's Gate. Then we got Double Masters, which was great reprints for everyone. But that was like June 9th was Commander Legends. July 8th was Double Masters. Yeah, within the set. And that was like, they're like, here's like Ulamog, here's like Mana Crypts. And you're like, well, I just spent my money on Baldur's Gate.
I feel like Modern
Dragons.
I feel like Modern just got completely like just thrown under the rug.
Every other format's on fire right now. Every other format is just them screaming like, ah!
Like, how do you keep like with that amount of release? How do you even keep up with like what's
trying to play Standard right now? That would be that'd be a nightmare.
Like every month I have to swap out like 30 cards.
But then, so again, we got July 8th was Double Masters. Then we got Dominaria United September 9th. So
I haven't even looked at that set.
So yeah, again, like another really, really quick one. And Dominaria United was full of great cards as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. All these sets are full of great cards that are fun to build, like new Shanna. Like there was just tons of like cool.
The new Joda.
Yeah, the new Joda. That card's silly. You would love the new Joda.
Oh,
Have you? New Joda.
Legendary Cascade.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let me quickly. So then there was Brothers War, then Jumpstart, and then there was also like so many secret
the
layers.
40K, yeah.
Let me see the Joda the Unifier. I'll quickly read this one to you. This is one you would love as a commander. You should build this one for sure.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
It's Wooburg. It's 5/5. Legendary creatures get XX, where X the number of legendary creatures you control.
Mm-hmm.
So Joda already bumps itself, and whenever you cast a legendary spell from your hand, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a legendary non-land card with lesser mana value. You can cast it without paying its mana cost, and it still casts. It's a pretty silly one. a lot of people complained about that one. A lot of people are like, that is way too strong and silly.
I've only seen, I think, one or
That's
two
too
of
strong.
them.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, even if that, like, like there's just so many new commanders. Like, you know, like that's kind of one of the nice things. Like, I could kind of see it as like a pro, because like a lot of people want to be unique. A lot of people want to build a deck that they're not like always like, I'm sitting down, and that's kind of why, like, one reason why I took apart my cat person deck.
Jetmir?
Yeah, Jetmir, because
We're just seeing so many Jetmirs.
well, Kaylin, when we play, she plays Jetmir, so I don't want to be like, Jetmir. Like, I feel that's too much aggro at the table.
Do it.
Cat
So-
team.
Yeah.
Cat
So
team.
I like, and like, I don't see Chulane, so that's why I like having a Chulane.
The Brawl decks were like the start of the issue with because they printed these amazing commanders in the Brawl decks.
Yep.
And then they just like underprinted it aggressively so no one could get them. So all the hype for them like just died down.
I had to get Chulane mailed to me from New Brunswick.
But those Brawl decks are still like some of the, like Korvold is played very frequently. Like Korvold's a problem, and especially everything is treasure tokens right now. Everything, like your treasure tokens make treasure tokens. But like Chulane's really good. Alila is still a really good one. That's
I
like
do
hard
want to
to
rebuild Alila.
I built it, and it was one of those decks that just overperformed every time I played because it just every
See,
time.
mine underperformed, and that's why I took it apart.
Oh, not mine.
Alayla is one that my fiance plays quite a lot. That's her favorite
Yeah.
deck, and it's
It's a fun,
It gets
like,
silly, hey?
oh yeah.
I like that commander. I like her ability and everything. Like, I think it's really cool. Like, she just seems so fun, but mine just never really worked out how I wanted it to.
Nobody cared about Brawl after Eldraine anyway, so
Yeah, Brawl's an abomination.
I'm going to
60
keep
card
my
standard
opinion to
commander.
myself.
Yeah, so
I liked it, but that's because I won the tournament.
I was just looking it up. So last year, like the end of the year, was like they banned Golos, and I still
That's
to this
all
day,
bad, Dan.
I still to this day think that this was like a horrible.
Is that the rules committee?
Yeah, I still think it was a horrible idea. Like for if you looked at the stats on EDH Rec, which were publicly available to everyone, you could see all of it. The vast majority of players using and making Golos decks were using it to play Maze's End. It was a Guild Gates deck where you like turbo ramped stuff out. Golos was a powerful engine. I don't think that was like in line with like what most people wanted to see banned. Like
You saw my Golos deck.
yeah, Golos was like fun. Like it's
Mine was shrines and curses.
yeah. Brian had Golos curses. Like that's not welcome in the format. Get it out of here.
like, they banned a Gates commander just to print another Gates commander less than 7 months later.
Yeah, and a significantly weaker Gates commander.
Yeah.
Like they did give us, that was like an interesting thing of like banning the most popular Gates commander and then being like, all right, here's a ton of new Guild Gates to do it. Because that's the thing. Everyone was playing Goals as like a Guild Gates deck. Everything like enters
That's all
tap.
I saw.
You play like an Amulet of Vigor. Maybe it's like a card in it to like get your things on tap. But it was a Guild's Gate commander.
Yeah.
And the new Guild Gates come in still just as Gates, still tapped. It's still just a Guild Gates commander. Like what?
The only real difference is they went from 5 color to Sultai.
Yeah, Sultai Gates, which is also weird.
Yeah.
Arkellos Gates. Turtle Gates. But no, yeah, or like 9-finger Keen. Yeah. But like that just, to me, that was a thing. Golos wasn't overwhelming tables. I think out of everyone that I personally was playing with, me and Brian had a Golos deck. Brian had his Golos Shrines. I had a Golos deck for teaching new players because Golos was a great deck to teach new players. Like I had like a really, really budget version. Your lands are again the Guild Gates. You teach people like alternative win conditions, which is a really, really fun way to, it's fun to see people like Halo Fountain. That was a great card of the year because it gives people another potential way to win the game, right? And I like stuff like that. Like not every game has to end with like, I smash the table or like I walking ballista for 9 million. And I'm like, but this is a precon. And you're like, yeah, well, I upgraded a little bit. Wink, wink. Right? Like it's, you don't really need to understand like that having a commander that was so accessible and like so travel. Like I've seen Golos like unicorns decks.
Yeah.
I've seen like it wasn't a deck that needed to be like nerfed so aggressively. Like, and that, like I said, that I think just like literally in that announcement, they unbanned Worldfire. Like how do you justify like the thought process of like, all right, Golos is incredibly popular. That's not welcome here. Get it out. Just rip those cards up. Don't even worry about it.
Mhm.
Followed by, but we're gonna bring in Worldfire. We think that this could really,
To be fair, balanced.
yeah. Do you know what Worldfire is, man?
No.
Was that the same ban announcement where they got rid of Hull Breacher as well, or
No, that was
No,
before.
that was before?
I'm happy with the Hull Breacher ban.
You shut your mouth. Hull Breacher should not have been banned.
Hull Breacher 100% should have been banned.
So this is what they unbanned. Exile all permanents, exile all cards from all players' hands and all graveyards. Each player life total becomes 1. Yeah. They unbanned that. So you can Worldfire and in response to Fairy's protection yourself. That's totally welcome in the format. That's all good. That's all fine and dandy. But I will be damned if you get an ETB, get 1 land tapped. Not here. That's not going to be. Everyone was like, oh yeah, well it basically pays for itself when you get a Temple of False God. Who plays Temple of False God still?
That's a bad card.
It's a bad card.
land.
Everyone,
It's such a feel bad if you get that in your opening hand. Like, it doesn't do anything until I get another 7 lands, 5
Yeah.
lands.
It's 5.
it was in so many, and like it's one of the 2 cards you draw, and you're just sitting there. Like,
Please let me mill down to 6.
but that's what I mean, right? Like there's gonna always be like, you're never gonna ban good stuff out of the format. One of like the most we play with. One of my brothers plays a Tog.
Yep.
That's a wild stacks deck. People are going to build what they're going to build. I don't think he cares about the commander. It's all
No, he
about
doesn't.
being 5 colors and just changing all of the colors and playing with layers. And
What does he call it again? His
Bob Ross deck.
His Bob Ross deck.
yeah, but yeah, because he's painting. But you know what I mean? It's the same thing. Like you can make the argument that the Iona ban was justified. I didn't think so because again, I wasn't really seeing Iona hose the table. You kind of, if you played it, you might hose everyone if everyone's playing the same. Like if you're against 3 mono greens and you happen to get Iona out and you're like, okay, cool. But then you're just going to get attacked by everyone. And you still had to deal with the social consequences for the night. Like it didn't seem like the worthwhile, like winning 1 game in an annoying way. Like it does get you targeted. Like everyone likes to be like, you know what? I'm not the kind of player who would hold grudges, tee-hee. And then they like totally just like swing you for the rest of the night because you were annoying or you took their commander or you know.
It's Greg, right? Yeah, Greg.
But like, you know what I mean? Like it's there's like so many interactions that you have with play groups that people don't forget. People remember good times and they remember laughing with their friends, but it's like when you go to a restaurant. I'm not going to go to a restaurant with Brian and Slothy and just be like, hey guys, like this is the best burger I've ever had. I'd love you both to taste it. But if it's horrible, I'm going to be like, oh wow, like try this. Like, and you'll be like, oh, that is gross and stuff. Like people remember negative interactions significantly more than positive ones. Like we're humans. We're wired that way so that we don't constantly repeat the same negative actions. And when you do that and stuff, like if you have, I say it all the time, everyone has their own life issues. Everyone's got even the person who's enjoying life the most that you know has had like a long week at work, has like maybe had like a argument with their like spouse or partner or boyfriend, girlfriend. Maybe their parents were mean to them that week. We all have problems we deal with. And most people that I know personally look forward to playing Magic at the end of the week. This is a game we all love enough to invest literally collectively millions of dollars a year into, right? Like Hasbro's got it made with us. We look forward to like going out and like seeing our friends, like seeing these like people that like I want to play games with. I made a deck. I think about it all week, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see. And then if you come out with the intention of like wrecking it because you're like, oh, I'm gonna Golos good stuff in a other pod, like no one was doing that, right? Like it's you know what I mean. And that's the other thing. It's like the other like the rule 0, like oh yeah, like you can just like tell people like I don't like that. Maybe take that out of your deck. No. You obviously can't do that. Like I can't just be like, oh yeah, Brian, I'm not a big fan of those smothering tabs. Just take that Seedborn out. You'd be like, what? I'd be like, yeah, just I don't like that you play with the Seedborn. You're like, yeah, but I put it in the deck. I'm like, not interested in playing with that. So just maybe slot in a new land.
Yeah, like some of that conversation that I've seen about the Rule 0 stuff just blew my mind. Like, I don't like that card. You can't play it. Pardon?
Yeah, it's the number one. Play interaction. You guys have seen my deck list. You know who I am. Like, I don't play interaction, and I take the punishment for that to the face every game. But I play real aggressive, and you need a lot of removal to deal with me. It is what it is, right? Slothy Slothy makes up for it, right? It's a yin and yang, and this yang is very aggressive. So that's what I mean. Like, it's just, there's consequences to how we build decks and stuff, right? Like, you can, there's no rule saying I can't build with 19 lands. But everyone knows what happens if I build with 19 lands. If we're not playing 3 mulligans, this is a problem.
He wins.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot of times, like, you literally have to play the hand you're dealt. It's literally the verbatim saying. And, like, you just have to play with what you get. And sometimes you're the architect of your own bad night.
Yep.
But, like, going out and, like, wrecking it, that's what I was going to say and stuff, is that people look forward to, like, playing and stuff. And that's why I don't think Magic ever can be in a bad place. I've seen so many people, Magic's dead, Wizards is killing the game. It's not. Bad attitudes are what's wrecking your playstyle. I still have an equal amount of fun playing with my friends every week because I just, at the end of the day, like my friends. I don't know, that's a crazy concept, right? That I just like to hang out with my buddies.
You like me?
Yeah. but that's what I mean, right? Like, people are always going to look forward to it and stuff. Magic isn't going to die. The only thing that's going to kill it is everyone being negative and not stopping it in LGS, like, not.
Didn't they say that The Walking Dead was the nail in the coffin?
Yeah.
That was the Walking Dead stuff. It's like everyone was just like, I made fun of people openly that were just like, this is silly, this is going to wreck the game, and in 2 years it's going to be I play my Rick and Morty deck, and I'm like that. You guys are being idiots.
I'm halfway there.
I'm like,
Rick and Morty lands.
I'm like, you guys are being idiots. Like, grow up. It's not a big deal. It's just a crossover. And now they're just like, this is the Street Fighter. My brain's breaking even thinking about the secret layers. They're like, here's my Street Fighter cards. Here's my
transforming vehicles.
We had Transformers, which they don't have the license to print Transform on, which is so funny.
More than meets the eye.
Yeah, is that what the keyword is? Yeah, because they can't put Transform. Oh wow, that copyright battle must be a monstrosity. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not someone who cares really what people play. Like, if you want to reskin your card, or if you want to, again, if they make like a cool, like, a Rick partners with Morty deck, and it's like,
that's funny.
That, you know what I mean? I don't care. I'll just play Magic. If people want to, like, bring like a custom card out and be like, hey, I'll do this. I'll help them, like, tune it down if it's like too much. Mm-hmm. But like I'll play against anything. I just like to
even
play
some
Magic.
even some of the what is it, like the morph from the unsets.
Yeah, some of the uncommanders.
Yeah, like the professor, the squirrel professor,
the Surgeon General, or whatever.
Squirrel yeah.
Surgeon General.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that one was neat. Like, I really enjoyed that one as an aspect, and I guess that's where, like, the whole morph, like, or not morph, from Ikoria.
Mutate
came from. They took it from the unset and actually made it into something real.
Well, mutate, and that's the thing. Not every mechanic is going to be for everyone. Not every playstyle is going to be for everyone, right?
Mm-hmm. I hate mutate. Spells. I play mainly creatures.
Yeah.
Except for my Fierce Protection.
Yeah, I put an instant or sorcery in the deck and call it a day.
Yeah.
Monster.
Yeah. Bing, bang, boom. We got, that's basically, and you're like, is that just
36 creatures, 30 lands, and a few things, mainly enchantments.
The Una I just made is all ramp. That's all it is. It's all artifacts, so I could just trigger Una's ability as many times as I possibly can. Go on and try to remove it. If you don't have a Kenrith's transformation, you're in for a bad game. And if you do have a Kenrith's transformation, I'm in for a bad game because I have a 0 interaction in this deck.
What was Dan playing Slivers? I play Humility. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, those slivers. That was a real problem in that game. But no, like that's what I mean. Like, even the fact that I can, like, sit, I just, like, talk with my buddies. Like, I've played Magic with Brian for what, 3 years now? 4 years?
3-4 years now.
Yeah, it's like never have I been like, I hate Brian. I'm not playing with Brian anymore. Brian's a bully.
Taking my stuff and going home.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just like the game is like for fun, and like when you look at Magic,
actually, you were hysterically laughing when I played Humility.
Yeah, that was a funny thing. It's Magic's not always meant to win, but like I was saying, like, for everyone saying the game's dying and that Hasbro's killing it and they're the worst, like, don't get me wrong, because the next part that we're talking about is the anniversary thing, and that, all right, I'll give you that. But before we get to that, like, it's just like they can't kill a game because it's just us playing with our friends, right? Like, there's never going to be a time where Magic isn't fun. The decks you have right now are still going to function. Commander's such a fun format because it's an eternal one. There's a very, very minuscule ban list. Like, oh, boo-hoo, you can't play Power 9, you can't play Channel. I get it. I get it, right? Prime Titan, that's a different story. You should play Prime Titan. Unban it for the love. Look at what's in the format. Come on. But like,
Yeah, the new Elish Norn.
yeah, they make Sundering Titan legal only to Elish Norn it. I bring in Sundering Titan, Elish Norn Flash. No. No. Yeah, Opposition Agent, by the way. Like, they're just like, Opposition Agent's fine. Every time I've ever seen that card hit the table, it's in response to me tutoring for land. And it makes me, it makes my brain hurt every time I like, if I try to like fetch land and someone's like, oh, Opposition Agent, that, and that's totally legal in the format. And they're like, but like your opponents can't have an ETB. Get it out. Get it out of here.
Yeah, or they ban Hull Breacher, but keep that one.
Look at every one of them. New Sholdred. It's got Death Touch. It's got life gain whenever you draw cards, life loss whenever they draw cards. Like, that's a crazy card. Old Sholdred. Sacrifice every upkeep, bring something back every upkeep. That's great. Jin-Gitaxias. Throw your hand away and you draw 7 cards. That's a problem. New Jin-Gitaxias. Every time you cast your first instant sorcery or artifact of the turn, copy it. Every time an opponent does on each turn, counter it. That's a problem. Vorinclex is a doubling season for your counters, and it is something like it.
Or the other one's your lands.
Well, yeah, but it wrecks. Like if you're trying to play like a Marin deck into Vorinclex and you can't get any counters, like you can only get half, so half of one is 0.
The feel bad.
Well, a Rex card, Rex games, right? Like it's if you're like a deck that like cares that. I just made Trelasara, Terralessa, whatever it is. It's the Moon Dancer card. I'm so excited about that. The whole point of the deck is gaining life and putting 1/1 counters on it. And again, half of 1 for Vorinclex is 0. That card just hoses my deck, and it's just I'm just stuck with like these little like 1/1 weenies like Soul Warden and Essen Warden, while the Vorinclex player is like Hydras trampling the table, and I'm screaming. Some decks are just
there's always going to be those odd matchups though.
Well, that's what I mean. Like old Elish Norn, like every single player I know has had their table wiped to an old Elish Norn and stuff, or an old Elish Norn with like a helm with a host on it, which is a problem. Old Vorinclex where you have to skip your untap.
Yeah.
So any attempt to remove it, you lose your land for, and then you know what I mean? Like the format is full of like salty things. The format's going to keep getting full of salty things, and it's like it's up to us to play. But
the more salt that we put into our community, I feel the more salt cards are going to get printed.
Well, that's like a big problem is again back to my State of the Union talk, is that the rules committee and Wizards are at the end of the day separate entities, and they're trying to coexist, but there's no real way for them to. The rules committee is just at the end of the day like a group of buddies who are just like Magic should be played in our vision of Magic and stuff, and it's the same. Like I'll be the first person to admit my version of a rules committee would make me happy, but it's probably not going to make everyone else happy because Cyclonic Rift is banned day 1 and I'm buying every Primeval Titan, right? Like there's going to be like, everyone's going to try police the game themselves. And this whole like weird new idea where you're like, everything is rule 0 and stuff like that. Like that's not really a valid way to do it. Like you don't get to tell other people that they can't have fun with the deck they built. Like try like match it up power wise and stuff. But like, also, there's some people like you can't tell players like, no, I'm not playing against a draw deck. That's not an option that exists. No. Like grow up. Like I know that sounds ignorant and rough, but like at the end of the day, like these are your friends. They put money and time into the deck. Like they also get to have fun. It's not just like me playing like solo player Minecraft, having a great time with myself, building my own world of imagination. No, it's a bunch of people are hanging out with me. I've got to interact. I know that there's like the joke that we don't have social skills, but like, come on, guys. Like this one's a little too far of like being like, nope, not going to play that until everyone else does that.
Daniel, who are you talking to?
It's, you know what I mean? It's, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like I've got that Derevi deck, which has like Drench Magistrate. It's got old Elish Norn in it. It's got all that mean stuff. If you don't want to play it, don't throw a fit about it.
Yeah, just
I'll be understanding if you're playing a precon and you don't want to play against it. Like,
I'll punch a hole in your wall.
But that's what I mean, right? Like, it's just, you can't, like, there's no way to, I can't tell you your play style's wrong and stuff, right? Like, if you play a bunch of, like, if you're playing a ton of instants and sorceries and that's what you have a great time with, then like I don't get to tell you how to have your fun or how to interact and stuff. I just like to see how big I can get a board state, and I often die because I'm just trying to be like, I want to see if I can get 1,000 tokens.
Are we trying to get away from discriminating against stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
with everything, right? Like there is a time and a place for every kind of deck, there's a time and a place for a Cyclonic Rift. It's not at my table, but there is. It's not in my group, not in my house.
100% happens here.
It does, yeah.
No, but like again, it's just there's cards for to be played at certain point in times. Like again, I'm not building my deck to help you guys win unless I'm building a group hug. But like I'm gonna have like the things that are going to try to benefit me, or if I'm playing cards like blue white, if I can't ramp, then I need to try to slow people down to the speed that I'm going at. So like again, it just unless they're gonna start putting in ramp cards for those colors to really allow people to kind of keep up with white. I saw you twitch there at the thought of that.
Well, even I was just gonna make the point of like what are we gonna do? Are we gonna even all the colors out to like let's just take it to its most ridiculous conclusion of like white gets its own version of like Findhorn, Elvish Mystic, Llanowar Elf. All right, well that's in every white deck now. That's 3 cards that there's no reason. If it's a 1 white pip for 1 white mana tap, there's not a single mono white deck that wouldn't run it. Now look at like an Azorius deck. Are you going to run that? Well, what if blue gets it? Okay, now I can get to my draw even my like not every color needs to have the same. Like the whole point of Magic is that you like balance out what like some colors do with the other and stuff, right? Like again, what the stuff that's strong in white is just not super socially acceptable to play. It still exists and you can play it. Like nothing's stopping you from wrathing every turn and then like destroying all the lands and bringing your lands back from the grave. Like it's a valid play style. I just not everyone's going to enjoy that, but like that's what white is designed to do and stuff. It's the same thing. Has no one ever seen an angel deck? You ever seen an angel deck that like gets to having the angels come out part? They win. They win the game because they've got 40 damage in the air that you can't block. And those creatures now have vigilance. They have vigilance and they've got protection from everything. Yeah, they're all, you've got an Avacyn out. You've played Sephara. Like there's a, you don't want that ramped out faster. I have a deck designed around it and it's a problem. You don't want me to hit angels on turn 3. That's not great. It's not great.
No, and that's the thing. Like, and I feel like it would kind of get boring, and like, 30% of my deck now is all just staples.
Well, yeah, right. Like, I love the variety. I love seeing like different lists. At the end of every episode, I basically ask people like, "What would you build? Like, what would you put in this?" And I love like when I put things on Instagram. I'm the most active on Instagram. That's the place if you want to chat decks with me and stuff. It's generally the easiest way to do it. And I put lots of stuff up like, what would you put in this? Like, what kind of theme would you go? Because there's just like an infinite like realm of possibilities of how Magic can be played. And like, if the 3 of us picked any random commander from this year out of a hat and built it, you'd have very, very different decks. Like if I made Abdel Adrian, my deck would be like way different than yours, right? Like, and like, that's fun. It's a fun way to do it, but like, you can't like, I don't know, you just can't you can't police fun out of it and stuff, right? Not everyone's like fun is going to be the same, but like you're playing with your friends.
No, there's some sadistic people out there. You need to let them have their fun too.
It's the other thing too is I will say this as well for anyone who plays this way. We have a player we play with named Dean. Dean is awesome to play with. Dean is a great time.
Love you, hate you, Dean.
But Dean is unrepentant about playing stacks. Dean doesn't care. It's like if you're like, oh yeah, like don't do that. That's gonna like don't play out of time and phase all my creatures out. Dean's like, that's crazy. So anyways, I cast out of time. like Dean is unrepentant about it. And like if you're gonna do that, like it's fun. Dean's still very fun to play with. I have a great time with him. Dean's gonna be a guest on one of the streams coming up soon. I think next weekend's or the weekend after, whichever one Dean's available for. And that's gonna be a great time. He's a blast to play with, but he's unrepentant about playing the stacks. And that like just play your cards. Like, don't sit and apologize the whole game for playing it because that just makes players angry. Because then you're like, okay, you know that what you're doing is a problem, but you're still doing it. But when you just like don't care, like if you're like, no, I'm just doing that. Like, just like stick by what you're playing, have fun playing it, but like don't sit and apologize and be like, so
sorry guys, I'm slowing the game down.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm doing this. Taps for blind obedience, and then it's just like. Oh man, it's. I understand that no one's having fun, so anyways, I'm gonna follow Thran. destroy all lands. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't sit and apologize. It seems very not genuine. Like, just like play the game, have a good time. Like, it just, that's like my way of looking at it is that you should just play your deck. Not everyone can win every game. Not everyone should win every game and stuff, right? I think even more right now, even more important than a pregame talk is a postgame talk. People need to like start like saying like, how was that like? Because trying to quantify, like I wrote an article about it a long time ago, and it's, I think, a good power scale, but everyone obviously isn't just globally power scaling on my method. But like, that's how I power scale. You might not power scale the same. So if we all bring out 7s, everyone's deck is a 7. That's the, you know what I mean? It's just like, this is my 7. It's just like that. You just have like a turn 1 combo. I'm like, yeah, it's a 7. I mean, yeah.
Just play counterspells.
Yeah, it's yeah, exactly. It wasn't a turn 0-1. That's not true, CDH. I didn't even draw Leyline of Anticipation and flash before I got a turn.
I didn't even play Gemstone Caverns.
Yeah, right. It's everyone's version's going to be different. So like a post game talk is like really, really important and stuff. Like I said, Magic's like not dying. The controversies of the year aren't that bad. They're annoying. The player base is upset with stuff, but like it's not dying. But like have post game talks and stuff. Just be like, how did you guys like that game? Should we go up in power? Should we go down and stuff? Like, did you find that this was a balanced game? Because a balanced game is really fun, no matter what it is. Like
where it goes back and forth in different pages.
Yeah, like
orders.
Yeah. That's why it's so fun all the time is to play just like the pre-cons that have come out, because it's a great time. Everyone's like at a lower level. A balanced game is the most fun, right?
Yep.
A one-sided game can be a little fun sometimes if you're like, I play a lot of decks that are like overpowering sometimes, and I'm playing them in a silly way. But a lot of times it makes me play against the whole table, and that is like actually pretty entertaining to see what goes on. But like at the end of the game, people should have like a ability to just be like, maybe don't have like 11 available mana on turn 3. Like maybe that's a little higher power than we're playing. Like, like these are your friends. You should be able to talk to your friends. Like, let's not be shy and just like hold on to anger and stuff. Like, let's just like be like, oh yeah, like that one was a little too much.
Daniel, I want to chat about our last game.
Yeah.
Where you
Not to worry, I have a coupon.
yeah, whoops. Hey, everybody saw that.
This is a threat. No, it's but like I was saying, there's just the format's not dying. Wizards is being greedy with stuff, and that's I wanted to like come into like 30th anniversary thing.
Yeah.
The 30th anniversary was a joke.
That's cash grab.
Absolutely.
That was a joke to everyone. This was the best opportunity to play with the play group. None of us, not a single person listening to this podcast really cares about drafting beta. No one cares. That's a horrible experience. It's not fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been fun to do like as a night and stuff. If these were like $5 packs and like they're not tournament legal, they're like gold backed or whatever they are, people would still have a good time. Like buy them. I would have done a draft of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would have fooled around with it and stuff. But what they would have done is they would have given a place for dual lands, which I am a high advocate for people having access to, so more people can build more decks.
So that's $600
because lands are crazy. And then they made these sets. You only buy them in packs of 4 at $250 a pack. And it wasn't even like a guarantee, not like the original collector set. Like you don't get like a full set of it. You get random cards at $1,000. You get 60 random not legal cards at $1,000. That was
$1,000 Sheevan Dragon.
insanity. That was just utter lunacy and stuff. And it's I've never seen the most proud moment of the year. I've never seen the community more united in its absolute hatred for this product than I ever have in my life. There was Walking Dead was like a rift in the community of like, it's okay, it's not okay, and like it's maybe okay. Nope. This was 100% unanimous hatred of the product. If you were to pull up any of the Wizards' recent posts right now, this isn't even a recent controversy. Pull up any of the posts right now, anyone on like an Instagram or something, you will see comments of like hashtag 999, 999. It'll be a new spoiler. It'll either be slow down the product release or like just an outrage of like, oh yeah, like does that t-shirt cost $1,000? Like it's Wizards has just been eviscerated on this because of it. And like being one of their social media guys would be just brutal right now. Like you just open it, it's like, all right, no one has anything nice to say today. Maybe I'll make a new post and it'll be like, oh yeah, like happy blah 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 day. Like it'll be like happy holidays from Wizards, and it'll be like, yeah, did that cost $999? The community hated it.
It does get to the point though where that's kind of okay. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Like,
We get it.
not saying that they deserve the hatred that they're getting, but they kind of deserve a little bit of it.
Yeah, well, it's just the product release is just like too insane. Like that is like the biggest thing is that players can't keep up with it. Like we're not made of money. Like even I say the same thing all the time. The reason we need more accessible dual lands. If I win the lottery, I'm not going to buy new dual lands. I have dual lands because I've played for a long time, and everyone who's like a recent player or a new player is essentially borderline being punished for the reserve list. Like the reserve list isn't great. Commander's not really a tournament format, so like had these been $5 like packs and you were pulling dual lands, I wholeheartedly would have openly advocated for everyone to just like use these. I'd be like, oh yeah, just use the ones from those packs and stuff. Crack some of those. Now you've got a chance. We're all playing. We're having a good time. And now I'm just like, no, just go continue to proxy them. Like it's
part of the sting for that too is I was seeing around the same time that they released these 30th anniversary packs. Konami released Yu-Gi-Oh! 25th edition packs from the first 3 sets, all the same cards, tournament legal, for $5 back.
Yeah, well, and that got like that was widely applauded. Like it was like a lot of people loved it, and everyone was like, "Why couldn't we get something like this?"
Yeah.
Again, even if they weren't tournament legal, make them like who do you think we are? Who has money for these packs? And that's the other thing is then they like tried to do this weird. I also just another State of the Union thing. I'm hating this like constant influx of like, look at the celebrities that play Magic, and it's like it's Post Malone. No, like it's not entertaining. Like just make a good product.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure Post Malone's a great person to play Magic with if you play it with, but like it's kind of out of touch to like just like be like, well, like this famous multi-millionaire rapper likes the product, so like what are you guys even talking about? Like it's just like just get in your Rolls Royce and go to the store and buy these packs.
Yeah, $1,000 is nothing to these people.
Yeah,
I want to sell my Rolls Royce, please.
That's what I mean. And yeah, exactly. It's just like the product release schedule A is out of touch, and that like the 30th anniversary was wildly out of touch, and then they just like gave those packs out to like just a bunch of like hyper wealthy people to be like, oh yeah, like you can showcase this off, and it's like a bunch of football players who like don't play Magic. What?
Oh, I thought it was still going. I was going to cancel.
All right. Well, now everyone knows where People's Jewelry by my house is. So, anyways, if you're looking for a ring and you want it to ship conveniently to my house, that's the address. I'll have to do some editing of this episode, apparently. But no, it's like Wizards is doing too much. Like it's just like a lot of people. They had a chance to clear the air at a fireside chat, and man, did they do a poor job at it. They basically were just like, "Hey, like, too bad we're not stopping. Like, we don't think that maybe not every product is for everyone." That's a crazy statement for a company. Like, I own a business, and I would never dream of being like, "Oh yeah, just like I don't this product isn't for this segment of my customer base." Ugh. No, like that's crazy. I would love if everyone bought everything I made. Like that's like how you would run a successful business. Like it's just
more people buying it, more profit in your pocket.
Yeah, I just like
well, Wizards, this is how economics works.
Right, like it's just like you kind of cater to your customer base, and then they like continue to buy things, and then when you like spend a year infuriating them at every point that you can, and then there's finally like a chance to be like, oh yeah, 30th anniversary. And you're like, oh, this is nice. And then they're like, it's going to cost you. It's really going to cost you. What did you think? This was like a celebration that we've appreciated you for 30 years? No.
Don't be silly.
That's the exact laugh that they would use too.
Yeah. It's like, no. It's like, you know what I mean? There's not really a justification for this way of thinking. Like I understand basic marketing. Yeah, I have a business. Get it?
Is there like underground like Magic fights that are going on that these cards are for people? Like
it's I don't know. And again, they're just proxies. All they did was print proxies. It's just cards that aren't legal.
Yep.
That this piece of cardboard is no more legal than any other proxy. Mm-hmm. So like at that point, like they're just advocating like just proxy everything. Like
why buy any cards from us?
Like I said, the only thing that can truly actually kill Magic is A, if we all lose all of our friends and we no longer have people to play with.
Bye, Dan.
And B, is if we don't have a place to go buy those cards. buying from Amazon sucks. Like buying like from any of those, unless Amazon wants to start like sponsoring me to the tune of tens of millions of dollars a year, then Amazon is the best place. And it's we're proud. Well, thank you, Jeffrey. But no, it's you know what I mean.
We'll
like,
polish your head for you
just
all the time.
Yeah, but no, it's like I was saying and stuff. Like, a game store is always going to be a good place to go. It's going to be a place to interact. Like game stores inherently like have to be like friendly, good places where people don't come out and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So going out, building a deck at a game store, that is the only way to like essentially keep the game alive, is to have a place to go play events.
Mm-hmm.
And like more Commander events are popping up now. Standard is on fire. Modern is not really.
I don't even know how Standard's functioning right now with the release.
Let me tell you, it's not. Basically, like Standard is just like online only, which is kind of.
Yeah, if you're not playing on Arena, you're not playing Standard.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Oh,
like
interesting.
they pretty much only care about that. Like Standard is not really an in-person game anymore.
And like even so, they're changing a bunch of the cards for another substandard format or something.
Yeah, they're doing a lot with these
Yeah.
other things. But I know I went on a bit of a tangent, but back to what I was saying is that Wizards and the Rules Committee really cannot like coexist. Wizards is a business, and if the business wants to make money, and the Rules Committee is like people who are, again, like
Us.
well, people who just are trying to do their best to balance out like everything. Like again, there's 400 commanders printed this year.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to like threat assess each of these it's a
It's a nightmare.
monster challenge, right? So like they can only do so many things, and they can't tell Wizards to slow down. Wizards gives them like some notes of like, hey, we're going to print like cards like this, and they try see interactions and see if things are broken. Like the Lutri ban. I think Lutri. I think the commander or the companion mechanic was the problem, not Lutri.
Yeah.
But like Lutri shouldn't have been able to be like
That's the
101st
otter
card.
one, right?
Yeah. Right? Like, but Lutri's still fun. I have a Lutri deck where Lutri's the commander, and like it's not inherently broken as a commander or as just a random card in. It was just that you could, any deck that had, like any commander deck that had those colors would run it, because they're like, you could play 101st card. And I personally know that the only way to play with more than 100 cards in the deck
Is if the sleeves come with them.
No, it is if you're playing Commander, because no one, Brian, no single person would ever put more than 100 cards in the deck. I don't know a single player in all of Magic who would ever do that.
We'll start counting your decks.
It's a valid thing. You can ask how many cards are left in my library. At the start of the game, I've drawn my 7. How many cards are left? I draw 700 cards left. 95. What? Yeah.
Plus the commander?
Yeah.
This is my
Dragon Shield's come through with these sleeves. I don't know why they said more than maybe if a sleeve's broken, but I've never seen sleeves broken.
me.
Really?
Yeah, let's split a sleeve.
Stop shuffling so aggressively.
I don't.
Brian's in his yeah. Like I was saying and stuff. Like I think that what are we at for time here? By the way, does it say?
Nope. It is 11:50.
yeah, we've been recording for like an hour
and a half.
Okay. So I usually have a shift. No, not. It's not a swear.
Demonetized.
Settle down, YouTube, please. I need this.
Susan,
I usually have like a shift clock is what I would call it, but it's like a time clock. I don't know. Regardless, there's usually a clock, so I can see how long things have gone for. And apparently, like I said, I've got to cut out the people's jewelry section. No free sponsors here.
Don't forget that in or Susan's going to come directly to your house.
Yeah. And again, it's personally, I'm more of a rose gold kind of person as well. So just that's
I'd agree with that actually.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
rose gold.
Really, it's nice. Come on.
The house of card pen were rose gold.
There you go.
Yeah.
The so like we'll end the episode off basically here and stuff of saying like number one is like my take is the commander is in like a good spot. I think that it's never really been a better time to start playing. It is like frustrating seeing that you like put a bunch of money in and then they like print out a new set where there's something that's more up your alley a month later, and then you feel like you're constantly being like assaulted with like a fear of missing out. And I don't like that currently. Like there's just no way to like, even I'm exhausted now. Like I've built so many decks, like 400 decks, and even I'm like, all right, guys, like slow it down a little bit. Like I'm the prime person who builds decks, and I'm like, all right, guys, like this is, come on, let's be reasonable.
If they could go back to 4 sets a year,
Yeah,
one
Blocks.
Yeah.
For one
blocks a year.
location, maybe 1 or 2 supplement sets like Jumpstart or something different.
Or a Commander Legend.
Or
something
Commander
like that.
Legends, yeah. And then do like 1 or 2 a month secret lairs.
That's the other thing. Who knows what the story is right now? There's Praetors, there's Will and
I
Rowan.
don't think there really is a consistency.
Yeah,
There's the moon.
something about Planeswalkers getting completed, and you're like, what's that? And it's just like, oh, don't even worry about that. I'm like,
Johnny
oh,
can
what?
infect you now?
Isn't that the Borg stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Right? Like, it's just, I would love to just, I'll find all the story highlight cards. I'm going to get really drunk and I'm just going to guess the story as it goes. Like, this is the Emperor. She's, I don't know, she's this guy's like mother or something. I don't know.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
What is the game with the book and you have to put the words in?
Like Mad Libs.
Yeah, we got Mad Libs and stuff.
Yeah. We have Jinja Taxis on Kamigawa. And I'm like,
And he has the throne.
and I'm like, that can't be right. And I'm like, he's looking for a microchip to put in someone's brain. It's Hamios. And everyone's like, are you all right? Like, I don't know. I'm just like drawing random names out of a hat. Like, so like the story is in a terrible place.
Yeah.
The release schedule is in a terrible place. The game is like fun. It's always fun to play with and stuff. The getting back into in-person games has been a great time and stuff. Like being shut out of stores for so long sucked a lot. Didn't like that one bit. But it was really nice. We had a great community to play with and stuff. I had lots of friends to keep playing, even though everything was like shut down and you couldn't go sit down with new people. It was still fun. Lots of people started playing Magic.
A lot of new people, new faces at
Yeah.
Ogres. I'm really happy.
Tons of new players, like tons of new strategies are viable as well. So like it's in a good place for that.
Yeah.
But like I think the player negativity is like the one thing that is just like the one thing that's like hurting things the most, because like we all get it. Wizards sucks, like, but not everything has to be like hate takes. Like you can enjoy things. It's I know that's a controversial take for the Magic community, but like you can just enjoy things, and like if you don't enjoy things, you'd also just like let your play group maybe enjoy them. Like it's if someone's like, oh yeah, like I like this new Elish Norn, and then you're just like, nope,
No, you don't.
nope, not gonna like that, not here. Yeah, right. Like that's not really a great way to look at life.
Yeah.
It's let your friends enjoy things. It's again, like all of us are unique individuals. You give me 50,000, Slothy 50,000, Brian 50,000. You say you guys go buy a vehicle. We're all going to choose different vehicles. You know what I mean? Like shockingly, like what works for like everyone else is going to be like, some of us might like a nice like race car. Like I drive a truck. Brian drives like a zoom car. Right? Like it's just the
Not Mazda.
no free advertisements here. But no, like it's like we're all different people, right? Like we're all gonna. I joke all the time with Kayla, for instance. When I get in her car, it's hilarious because like number one, like clown car music should start playing. It's like that car like tilts to the side, like the engine sounds like it's gonna die. Like
Yep. I can see. I can believe it.
what is it? A Ford Focus?
Yeah.
Yeah, she
2007.
Yeah,
I
she
don't
drives
fit in it.
She drives an old Focus, yeah, and she's 11 feet tall. So, yeah, it's like I said, it's been a good year, at least for me and stuff. Like I've been playing lots of Magic. I changed careers entirely. My business stuff went well. Met and got engaged to lovely fiance over here. She's great. She's in the back dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very tall. But no, it's yeah. So that was like a good year for me and stuff. Commander's been like it's a huge part of my life. Like playing Magic is like a great way for me to interact with my friends. It's something I look forward to. I love talking Magic. I love doing that. So for me, my take is that like it's in a good place and it's never gonna die. I'm never gonna stop playing Magic. It's the like life changes for everyone as we get busier, we get older and stuff. But most of us have played this game for so long already and stuff. Like it's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe not everyone's played it like as long as me or like other people who have played since like the beginning, but like it's still like you're a fairly new player. And how long have you played?
I've been playing for like 11 years.
Right, exactly. So like it's not like there's tons of new players coming into the game always. I don't really see players leaving the game. Right? There's not many people that I'm just like, oh, they just don't play anymore unless like they were like dealing with other player negativity and stuff, right? Like we had Eddie and Cassidy. That's why like I don't see them ever coming out to play anymore, is because they didn't like players being toxic.
Yeah, that was some of the reasons. Yep.
Yeah, like it's just those are the reasons I knew.
Yeah, there was also the arms race.
That's what I mean, right? Like it was player toxicity.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
it wasn't that the game wasn't fun. It's that they were trying to have a good time. Like another group hug player. Shout out to the group hug life, right?
Yeah.
But it's not fun when people are like, I'm just going to swing at the group hug player. I don't like group hug. It's
Oh yeah, and you let everyone else win. That's the one thing I hear when I play my group.
I don't like being helped.
yeah. No one helps me, not even me. Right? Like it's just
I will win with my own deck, not yours.
Like I think for me coming back, because like what I took,
Yeah,
like,
you took a good
year
hiatus,
hiatus. Like yeah, coming back, really hard to know like what's actually like what's new. Like I thought I knew my
picked a
deck
year to come
list.
back.
yeah, you chose the wrong year to take a break.
Yeah,
400 new commanders, and you're just like, it's
a lot.
What?
Yeah, and then like I used to do a lot of the social media stuff, and yeah, like seeing a lot of the negative like comments and stuff like that.
It
Like
can
luckily
be-
it's not at us.
It
But-
can be exhausting though
Yeah.
to like constantly like. Generally speaking, my controversial takes are like just let people like things.
Mm.
It's like my controversial takes a lot of the time are like just it's not that bad. Like playgroups will police themselves.
Yep.
Leave the game alone. Stop trying to break it. Like you don't need to take a hammer to everything.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I play several different groups. Like since coming back, like I come over here for some of the streams that we play whenever you actually tell me. And then I play with like my other group of friends, like Jesse and Dustin, which they're more kind of casual players, but they do still have competitive-esque decks. So
Like
like
some higher power. Yeah.
yeah, so like it all depends upon like the decks that I want to play, or like again, like so I will always still go into like what kind of game are we looking to play, like, and then like again, kind of noticing the commanders that they're playing and the experience of playing with them. I feel comfortable like playing whatever deck I want to like, but if they don't like it, they'll tell me, and then I'll make tweaks to it. Because again, I want to make sure that others are having fun, but also that I want to have fun too. But yeah, it's, like for me, it's mainly as long as the table that I'm playing at is not salty at me, then I'm good. But if you make me salty, then I'm gonna make you salty.
Fair.
Yeah, fair.
Vengeance.
Vigorousness.
Yeah. Slothy, how do you think? Oh yeah. How's your personal life for the year, by the way?
Getting slowly better.
Good. Good to hear.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
That's fair. That's fair. Not everyone's celebrating like me. Slothy.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good year. I joined into the 99.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Pleasure meeting you.
My bad.
Rando number 4.
Yeah.
Rando number 4.
Rando number 4, Slappy.
Sloppy. Yeah. My mom was over and I was like, this is sloppy. She's like, sloppy? I was like, no, that's not who it is.
Yeah, been a pretty good year. Personal, stayed at the same job all year, so
Yeah, good.
yeah.
Stability is always good.
It was brutal working in minus 40 outside last week, but
You're
got through it.
Yeah.
Now he's invincible.
Exactly.
Now he can never die. All his lands change to snow.
It's
Yeah.
Wizards should just start setting up.
Do you think Magic's in a good place? Like, what's your
I
thoughts?
think yes and no. Kind of like how you were saying, Commander's not gonna die. If you get to a point where you could build a new Commander deck with a new Commander every day for a year and not get through the ball, it's a little much.
But you have the other 99 cards to build all those.
I have
Yeah.
books of paper and shit.
Yeah, there we go.
Basic lands.
And then
books of paper
that's
and
just
stuff.
as good as the anniversary set.
Exactly.
Printer go burr.
Oh man.
Yeah, like it's like I said, it's fun. At the end of the day, you should be having fun. We've got tons of plans for a new. Our new season technically starts with this episode because this will be our new season. So it's been like super fun to interact with so many people, meet so many people. I've made lots and lots of very, very good friends who I talk with nonstop in like various Discords that I talk with through Instagram. Like I've met Brian and Slothy both through Magic, and I talk with them every day.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's been a day in recent memory that I don't talk to either of them stuff, right? Magic's great for friendships and stuff like that. Like we're really, really excited. We really appreciate everyone who stops in and listens to us just rant for hours at a time about Magic. It's like, it's very cool to interact. We appreciate everyone who checks out the videos. The stuff we're going to be, as you can see, my background right now, not my most ideal background. I'm in the middle of moving everything around. We're We're moving stuff around, we're setting up, but we have lots of ideas for upgrading like our, especially streaming place. We've got all these fancy new cameras that we're going to be doing stuff. Hopefully we're going to be out at some of the events, things like a face-to-face
in February.
Yeah, some of those things, and like hopefully like streaming games, and we're going to be doing a lot more like streams. We're going to do, Brian likes these like more kind of a formal talk episodes. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be having like the ability to set up and do more of that stuff. It's not all going to be deck lists, but trust me, there's going to be deck lists. I build too much to not. But like there's going to be just tons of cool stuff. We were just talking about how we're going to set this new space up, like kind of like talking just behind the scenes baseball here is like just like what colors we want to do, set it up. So all this stuff that we do because people have enjoyed interacting with, and everyone here like does really, really appreciate it. Like I hope that everyone continues. I can't wait to see the show grow anymore. Like I'm just ever since we started this, I was excited the first time anyone listened. I was like, oh, people actually do want to hear us like talk about Magic, because I just wanted to talk Magic with my buddies. So for anyone who's listened for the long times, we're gonna have like some older guests who have like been on shows and stuff. I've talked with Sherman. Sherman's gonna come to a stream, which is gonna be a great time. Sherman's like a really, really unique deck builder.
Book Tribal.
Yeah, Book Tribal, and it's going to be really, really fun. So if you're wanting to see any more content, stick around. There's going to be no shortage of it. Like I'm going to make a lot. And
making content's fun.
Making content is fun. Like thanks everyone who's like checked out like streams when we do the actual live streams and comes and tells Brian to get a Soul Ring countered. Like that's always very funny to me in the chat.
Brian dies first, still lives.
I love reading like the Twitch chat when we're streaming and people are just like, counter a Soul Ring, do it. I'm in mono green and they're like, naturalize it, come on. It's there's like very, very good things. It's really fun to see like how the game evolves. Like it's just fun to see people interact with us. And like I said, I can never say thank you enough for everyone who's spent the time checking it out. So if you actually get to the end of the episode and hear me rant on this, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm also very shocked at how many people have fully listened to the episode. So awesome. Thank you guys. Yeah. I appreciate that you get right to the end. If you want to check out our stuff, it is going to be on our website always. There's our YouTube. There's going to be basically like weekly streams coming out indefinitely. And we stream so many games, I cut them up. If people want more games, let me know. I'll do that. We're going to be doing a little bit more of our Patreon stuff. So we've got like some cool merch and playmat ideas that are going to be coming out. You'll be able to check those out in the new year, which is technically now. You're listening to
Tomorrow.
This in the new year, yeah. So yeah, it's I'm talking as if it's the future, like some faraway thing. It's like 12 hours from now. But we're gonna be like doing a lot of that kind of stuff. I might make a rando number 4 shirt because I think it'd be hilarious.
That's funny, yeah.
Player 4 saves the day. But yeah, like so we're gonna be doing lots more. I appreciate everyone sticking around for it. If there's certain kinds of games, like if you want to see some higher power stuff more like on a competitive side, let us know, because I do have a lot of higher power stuff. Slothy, the same thing, like has like higher power stack stuff. It's just we don't really know if that's the
the background
YouTube audio. Well, you've got your Chulane's pretty like high power to it stuff.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. All right, but yeah, like there's definitely going to be some different stuff, and I'm going to be doing some Tiny Leaders events and stuff because I want to see how that format flushes out a little bit. I like this like more competitive one, so that'll probably be.
You are a competitive person at heart.
Yeah, right. Like I do like to group hug, but it's to mask the extreme competition in my soul. It's
he's a League of Legends player, guys. So that just there.
It's the worst game. And for League of Legends is not
the worst
game.
community.
Yeah, it's the worst game, and I'm getting off this, and I'm going to play it. It's
on that note,
me feeding for it. No, like I said, everyone, I appreciate it. Go support your LGSs. Have a great new year with it. If you're doing resolutions, I hope your resolutions are awesome. I hope that you reach all of your goals for the year.
Good luck.
Everyone's healthy, wealthy, safe. Those are all going to be great things. Support your LGS. They've really stuck it out for the last few years for us, and they've really like tried. Get out and build decks. If there's cards that are a little too expensive that are stopping you from building a deck, go to abyssproxyshop.com, promo code IT99. It's they're pretty good for us, so definitely check those things out.
Those ones are also not $1,000.
Those aren't $1,000 proxies. If you talk nicely enough, he will charge you $1,000 so you can have the genuine experience. He is willing. I haven't confirmed it, but I'm pretty sure he's willing to give you the 60 random proxy card deal of $1,000. I think he may even include shipping in that. So
I would hope.
Let's not get too crazy. Though.
yeah, let's not get too crazy. But no, like I said, check that out if there's anything that's like crazy. Like if you need dual lands and you aren't in the market to spend your year's rent on dual lands, maybe check Abyss Proxy Shop out there.
That's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so there's definitely that, but also get out, like I said, interact with the local communities. They're all great. Like the play groups it's really fun to get out and meet new people playing Magic and stuff. The face-to-face event was a great time, and it shows you how huge that community really is, because there's lots of players who don't go out to stores already, right?
Yeah, like I would have to say, like one of your resolutions, like get out and play at an LGS again. Like don't lose that human contact.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so important. Like I miss in-person stuff, working from home as a living now, and like not really going anywhere that much. Like don't lose that. Like do go out and like actually get that interaction. It's so good for you.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Stacks player.
In which case, maybe, just take the net up.
Stay home. It's okay.
No one caught that.
Slothy, any closing comments here?
No, just like Brian said, get out to your LGS, meet some friends, go to events, come play Cyclonic Crypt instead.
Don't do it. Don't do it. My heart can only take so much. You'll kill me.
Don't do it. Don't. I heard what you said.
As long as those two things are met.
Kill Brian. Yeah.
No, he said counter my soul ring.
Oh, man, that's a good play. But no, yeah, it's I appreciate everyone who's gotten through the episode. I'll stop ranting because I will never stop talking about Magic.
No,
so it's a lot. Thank you so much. If I had my music, I would hit my cue music button, and we would.
Oh no, that's the communism music.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. We're soaring. But no, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Happy New Year, and you're going to see a lot of cool stuff in the future. So definitely check it out. There's going to be cool things on the Twitter and the YouTube and on the everything. Oh, with the Tiny Leader stuff, I might make a second channel for it, just in case not everyone likes to see it. Into the 49?
Yeah.
Yeah! Call ourselves the 49ers. Be hit with a cease and desist. Immediate cease and desist. All right, and with that, everyone, thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Happy
and
New Year,
hopefully
guys.
my background looks cooler next time.
See ya. 49.